Good afternoon and welcome to the July 25th, 2024 meeting of the Fitchburg Historical Commission. I will now call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting an audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I ask that anyone else in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves for the record now by standing and stating their name and address. I believe we have no guests at this time. Also, I'd like to have a roll call of members present. Don Ostrowski, you here?
I am here.
Charles Stronmello.
Hi, here.
Andy Lapasti.
Here.
And I'm Keith Cheneau, Chair of the Historical Commission. And welcome to everybody. What I'd like to do is bring up our agenda. So 1 second here while I share that on the screen. Okay, here's a copy of the agenda on our screen. Is it visible on your monitor?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So item number 1 is public comment period. And as we have no guests, we'll move on to item number 2, review and approve minutes of the May 30th, 2024 meeting. And any comments or additions or corrections or motion to approve?
Oh, for the May 30th. May 30th. Okay.
Since we didn't vote on them last month.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, Andy?
Because we're voting on May 30 minutes since we weren't able to vote on them last month's meeting.
That's correct. So last month we did not have an official meeting, and so a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the May 30th, 2024 meeting minutes.
And a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye. And
Aye.
We need a roll call on that?
let's do a roll call. Don, you approve?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Charles?
I wasn't there in person, but I watched it the next day on FATV, so I approve.
Thank you. And I also approve. Keith Cheneau. Thank you, Andy. Item number 3, discussion of current Massachusetts seal.
Keith,
Yes.
I just wonder about the non-minutes for the last meeting in June, because what Andy sent out says there was no meeting, but that may cause a little confusion since Dan hosted the meeting on FATV.
We at the beginning of the meeting, we announced that it was not an official meeting, but just an informational piece. And because it was not an official meeting, there were no official votes on anything. So there was no official outcome from the meeting, but just as that was with advice from FATV at the time. I guess is a question. I think just to fill a spot there was an agenda posted for the meeting, and having a notice saying that there was no official meeting for anybody looking for minutes of that meeting would be seeing that in the posting of minutes that there were no official minutes. I don't know if
So-
that covers what your question
So
is.
should we add there was no official meeting? I mean, add the word official?
In those minutes that was posted? Or in that notice that was posted, it was listed under minutes, but it said there was no official meeting, as I recall.
I think it said there was no meeting.
Yeah, I know I might say like there was no quorum, so there was no meeting, or can't remember my exact wording. Something we used in the past.
Yes, it says. Um. the heading, no meeting was held due to the lack of a quorum.
Yeah, I suppose we could add that we did hold an unofficial assembly or something.
I think my thought is just to keep it simple that there was no official meeting, and that's
But it doesn't say no official meeting, it says no meeting.
it says there was no, well, so therefore it wasn't a meeting. It was a gathering.
But there was a meeting.
There was not a quorum. So officially, under the Historical Commission letterhead, there was no meeting. And I think it was just a group of people together. And it was recorded and broadcast also as an informational meeting, as it was noted in the beginning. Or used the word meeting, but not a meeting of the Historical Commission. I don't know if that works. Is it possible to close the door partially? I'm getting a little sound feedback from people in the hallway, I think.
Sure.
Don't lock it, but and probably on the recording of this meeting. So
We can add some more wording for that if it happens again.
Yeah, I just think
Make it
no,
clear,
no official
no
meeting.
official would have done it.
I don't know if we want to add that it was.
I suppose if it
private
happened,
gathering of interested citizens of Fitchburg. I don't know, maybe no official meeting.
yes, it probably appears in FATV log of Historical Commission meetings. So that's we could double check on that.
Yeah, I'm just concerned there. We have been known to have some people who look at these things and point out that, well, there was a meeting, and then we say, well, it wasn't an official meeting. And I think that would just clarify if we have no official meeting in the statement, rather than no meeting.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Andy, do you want to
Make that
maybe
correction. We'll repost it.
send a clarification and reposting of that, saying it was no,
Okay.
hang on, let me just read did somebody bring it up? Hang on a second here. Sorry for the delay.
Storage times is such as unusual, I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll look at the minute, say.
What do you mean there was no meeting?
Minutes.
I was there.
Video there.
Yeah.
That's-
It said no meeting was held due to a lack of a quorum. Yeah, and we could amend that to say no official meeting was held because of lack of a quorum. Do we want to add what the discussion was?
I don't think we need to go into that. I mean,
why not? I mean, just say you had the meeting, the people that were in attendance and what they discussed.
No, we went through the whole agenda, for sure.
we went through the whole agenda, yes, we did. We didn't take any votes.
No votes, right?
I don't think we went through the whole agenda, but we talked about, maybe we talked about some other things. I'd have to go back and look at it. We certainly didn't take a vote on anything. Maybe we could, if it just said no official meeting was held, official, adding that, or then it,
Just add one word. Yeah.
and if somebody goes and watches it, I think we said at the beginning that because there was lack of a quorum, this was not an official meeting.
Right. I'm in accord with that, Keith.
Okay, Andy, if you would maybe add that to the wording, saying instead of no meeting, no official meeting was held due to lack of, and resubmit that to the city clerk as a correction, I guess.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Right. Okay, I believe the minutes are still displayed. Item number 3, discussion of the current Massachusetts seal and flag. That's what the unofficial discussion was in the June meeting time period. Which was informative about perhaps using sensitivity of what the seal represents, and the seal has changed over time, but maybe we can. I don't know if we want to discuss any of that during this meeting period or bring it up, since we have a quorum. It was an item of interest, and I think we could discuss it if we wanted to. It was this information from our guest, from the guests that were at that non-official meeting, had presented to the Human Rights Commission, also the city's Human Rights Commission, earlier in the month of June. And to my knowledge, the Human Rights Commission has not, to my knowledge, hasn't had done any action beyond hearing the presentation at their commission meeting. So we can leave it at that, or if there's any other discussion, if we want to bring it up as official business or not.
Well, I think the one of the points that was made is that a number of city councils, communities have supported the resolution to change the seal and the flag. And if it does come before Fitchburg City Council, I think the Historical Commission should support be in favor of the city council voting to be in favor of changing the seal in the flag.
Okay, would anyone like to see a representation of what the information about members present? Would you like to see any information about kind of a recap what that informational meeting had shown to review it?
I just, did they give an example of what they wanted to change it to?
No, I can, let me see if I can.
I thought we talked about, as the next time we get together, if we have a quorum, we would vote on supporting the change of the Mass State flag and seal. That was one thing we wanted to do to.
Okay, hang on a second.
Show support there.
Let me, all right, I'm gonna have to bring up a Gmail document that I received.
Notes of the unofficial meeting.
It might have been. I know it took some.
Yeah, that was my recollection too.
Sure,
Yeah, I were going to.
Yeah, good. Vote on a motion to support it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Reps,
Hang on a second.
an official letter to the city council. Yeah, they're.
About that.
To know that we're supporting it.
Yes, that's right.
Hang on a moment here. All right, can you see the Boston skyline on your screens?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this was at the informational meeting. This was the presented by David Detmold, who I believe is the creator of this website and is one of the people kind of backing, questioning the image on the Massachusetts state seal and flag, flag and seal as it's mentioned here. And a image of the seal is here in the bottom right-hand corner too. This is the current seal of Massachusetts that is also represented in, I believe, in the center of the Massachusetts state flag or something very similar to it. You can help change the Massachusetts flag and seal is the caption here. Other wording. The issue is that kind of challenging the image of the seal, which enlarged shows a shield with a indigenous symbol of an indigenous person holding a bow with a downward pointing arrow, and above it is appears to be a arm of a non-indigenous person, perhaps with the ruffled sleeve, European age of sometime before this time, holding a saber of some sort. And the translation in this website says the translation of the seal or the inscription on the side of it says, "She seeks by the sword a quiet peace under liberty." And to some persons, there seems to be an issue if this is what the a proper seal of the state is. And to my little bit of research, this particular seal of the Commonwealth, or a facsimile close to it, was created about 100 or 120 years ago, plus or minus a few years, with this particular representation. From the time of the first European colonization of the what is now the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, there have been various mottos and images and seals from Pilgrim times kind of onward through the Revolution and post-Revolution, representing the seal of the state of Massachusetts. That was an official mark that was probably done in wax seal, making official documents originally, and then used in documentation forward for official Commonwealth of Massachusetts business. So this is what Mr. Detmold presented. This is similar to what I believe was presented to the Human Rights Commission earlier in the month of June. And Mr. Detmold and people supporting this action to look at redesigning the seal, I believe, again, the website for it is called changingthemassflag.com. If anybody wants to review this on their own and read this information in more detail, can go to that website to find and spend more time reading what is presented here and was presented in that informational meeting in June. Essentially, they were asking for, besides perhaps creating legislation to investigate revising the seal and flag of the Commonwealth, to create a new commission to study it, and suggesting that the new commission should have representation of indigenous people from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts on that commission, to help guide and perhaps create a new seal and image for the flag. What Mr. Detmold was going from various municipalities, presenting this information and asking local municipalities to, if they would bring this before their local governance, and to see if, as a statement to the Commonwealth of Mass government, having numbers of different municipalities vote on the issue of investigating or creating a new seal for the Commonwealth. And at the time of the website creation, or the most recent part of it, the municipalities shown in blue have had a vote, and blue and red have had a vote in favor of investigating a new seal or changing the seal. And the reds, the municipalities in red are the ones who voted against it. So majority of the cities or municipalities that have voted on this are in favor, with a few against. And it's probably, I don't know, somewhere around 80% or something like that. And other information on this. Mr. Detmold had also shared with me, and I haven't shared it with you, is a draft ordinance that could be or a draft resolution, not an ordinance, that he presented to the Human Rights Commission, and also shared a copy, sent me a copy of it, of a draft resolution that could be considered by whoever would present it to our local city council for them to understand it and perhaps vote on it up or down, depending on what the resolution would say. This is, I believe, just kind of one action that could be taken where individual municipalities are voting on it to make a point to the state governance to show the backing for or against changing the state seal and state flag, or investigating a new design to replace the existing seal and flag. So that's kind of the upshot. If you're interested in looking this in more detail, or if you're interested in seeing a copy of the draft resolution that he had shared with the Human Rights Commission and also shared it with me, I could share it with our members also.
Yes, Keith, did you get a copopy from Mr. Detmold of his draft resolution?
Yes, and so I presenting this here in our official meeting, would the rest of the members like to have a copy of that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I will send that out. As I mentioned, to my knowledge, I don't believe the Human Rights Commission has voted one way or another to present this. There was an issue in June trying to maybe get these individual municipality votes in before the Commonwealth's July budgeting deadline, which is now passed, because the resolution would ask for an establishment of a commission with various representation in it, and there would be some funding required for that to operate. And I suspect that has come and gone. I don't believe it's in the state budget, but I have not heard one way or the other, and I haven't actually checked that out. So anyhow, I will send the resolution. I could also contact Mr. Detmold to see if the state is, to his knowledge, if the state has actually created a commission or not, just as a follow-up on it. The resolution is a whereas such and such resolve that such and such, but it relates to setting up a process for reviewing and perhaps coming up with a recommendation to save it. Not saying it is changing it, it's just setting up a representative commission to review the current seal of the common. So I will send that. Any other comments or questions? If you weren't here and able to see the presentation, again, that should be on the FATV site and listed as our June gathering, if you will.
So, Keith, Andy and I seem to remember that at that non-official gathering, we talked about, proposing at the next official meeting of the Historical Commission that we, decide whether to send a letter to the city council, in support of changing the flag and the seal.
Yes, and and this isn't necessarily accurate, as I recall, it would be because it was originally presented to the Human Rights Commission, and it perhaps falls under certainly partly under their objectives for that particular commission to forward it. But also as a historical commission, we could also. So I think it's not particularly, it would be a letter in support of the resolution that the Human Rights Commission was going to be sending. What we could do is that, we could also send, as the Historical Commission, if we so voted, we could also send the resolution to City Council for their consideration under our name. It would perhaps have a little bit more backing if it had both commissions, Human Rights and the Historical Commission, and perhaps other commissions within the city. But once, if I hadn't sent the resolution to everybody, I will certainly do that now. I think the proper wording for the city council to consider and do a vote on would be a resolution. So let me send that resolution draft. Let me know if you concur with it. And then it would be something we could vote on at a future meeting.
He's got it on his website. Yeah. The resolution.
This one is specifically with let me just I'll show you a copy of it here if you would like.
Okay.
Would you like to see a copy of it? And then I'll email it to everybody also. All right. Okay, resolution to support change of the state seal or flag and seal of Massachusetts. This says the Human Rights Commission, Pittsburgh Human Rights Commission. We could, I have emailed the commission a couple times to their chair and haven't heard any word back from them. I could try that one more time after this meeting. But it could be Human Rights Commission and the Fitchburg Historical Commission together, or it could be the Fitchburg Historical Commission. And again, this language was based on the Boston HRC resolution that was presented, I believe, and voted on. But it's based on it. It is changed here where it refers to, excuse me, I just lost it. Are you still seeing the resolution on the screen? I just clicked off of it.
No, just the email message.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Jesus. I've just emailed it to our members. So it includes the draft resolution and a sources of factual references that Mr. Detmold references, I believe, in the resolution or otherwise in the backup information. So I think it's something that we should all review in some detail and make any adjustments or recommend any adjustments to the resolution. And if we wish to move forward with it, we could vote at it at a future meeting to accept a draft of the resolution that we would like to present and forward that to City Council. In the meantime, I'll try to again see if the Civil Rights Commission has any, excuse me, Human Rights Commission has made any movement, or if we can partner with them on this, pending if we vote at a future meeting to on a draft resolution to forward. So, sorry, I'm having problems bringing that up. It just doesn't want to appear. So in the meantime, review the resolution draft and the resources that are included from Mr. Detmold. If you wish to, and we can vote on it at a future, or discuss it and perhaps make a vote to proceed or to look at other drafts or whatever at a future meeting. And we'll see if there's any coordination we can do with the Human Rights Commission. Okay. Do you see this on your screen now? I believe I have it up now.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Sorry, we're back at it again. So it starts out with several whereases. And you'll have to read this in certainly much more detail. Be it resolved that the Fitchburg says Human Rights Commission, or could be the Historical Commission, or both, supports the work of a special commission relative to the seal and motto established by the resolve of blah, 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 appointed governor, urges the design of the seal and motto of the that better represents Massachusetts' aspirations for harmonious and respectful relations between all people who are now called Massachusetts home, et cetera, et cetera. And forwarding this to members of City Council, blah, blah, blah. Advocate for a new seal and resolution. So this is a process of sending it on to City Council, is my understanding. Whether they would make their own resolve and put it as to the City Council resolve with any additions or changes to it would be up to the City Council. And for them to vote it and be included in the members that are members of other municipalities that are looking to review and perhaps change the seal of the Commonwealth. All right. Any other thoughts or questions on this item of the agenda? Okay, so that has been sent to you along with the resources. Please review it, and we can bring this up at our next meeting. Leave it on the agenda. Any other discussion? Okay, back to the agenda. Item number 4, update on downtown historic areas brochure distribution. I believe I think everybody probably has some copies of the brochure now, as far as commission members, and we were looking for distribution to kind of all of our city government types of buildings, like the library, city hall, and to allied organizations. I'm sure that the Historical Society has copies. And Andy, I know you had brought those down from where they were stored at City Hall. Any updates on that you have or anybody else on distribution of the brochure?
Yeah, certainly the Historical Society has a lot of them on hand, and on our downtown civic days, I brought some to the Fitchburg Cultural Alliance group.
Great.
And then just this morning, I stopped at the Johnny Appleseed rest area on Route 2 and dropped off about 50 brochures there.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
So
Yeah,
they've got quite a collection of brochures going there.
that's great. Yeah, and I took some to the library. I'll check to see if they need any more. Also, I'm keeping Rising Grind Cafe stocked with them, and I dropped some off at Pauper's Pantry.
Good. Could somebody get some to the Chamber of Commerce out on, is that South Street that they're on?
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's out toward what used to be the Kmart Plaza, close to the funeral home out there.
Right, yeah, the intersection of South Street and Winooskock Road, is it?
Close
Is that
to
right?
it. Yeah, yeah,
860 South Street.
yeah. Do I have volunteer to take some out there?
All right, I'll volunteer.
Okay. Thank you,
Oh,
Don.
I was sorry. I was muted. I was trying to say I could do it too, but Andy, you could do it. That's fine. I mean, but I'm happy to do it too. I don't have any of the brochures. I'd have to pick them up.
All three of us could go
Yeah.
in tandem.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could have a party.
Yep. And see if you can talk to the president or director there of I think it's the North County, North Central Mass Chamber of Commerce. Just speak with somebody there, one of the executive director or whatever, just to let them know they're available. And it certainly as a marketing tool for kind of the richness of one of the communities that they represent, primarily Leominster and Fitchburg. So some good praise for the community, and certainly that's one of the objectives of highlighting commerce and culture within our particular region. So it'd be great. Having a Johnny Appleseed, that's wonderful also. Thanks much. Any other spots? Could somebody get some maybe to the art museum?
Yeah, I could do it. Where do I get them? Where do I get them?
City Hall.
Where do I get the brochures?
If you go to the community development office on third floor near the back of City Hall.
Let me just write that down.
Say you brought something to the library? Library, Rise and Grind, Oxford? Yeah. Okay, thanks.
So, Community Development Office.
Yeah, third floor rear, ask for Kim. Kim has most of the, I think she's one of the keepers of them. They're sitting, last time I was there, they're sitting on the floor nearby in a box. They need a little additional folding to them, so I'm sure you can figure that out.
All right, I'll take him to the Fitchburg Art Museum.
Great, great. I don't know if the train station has a rack, the intermodal station, if that would be a spot or not. Does City Hall lobby have any?
Don, in front of the check.
Which brochure are we talking about again?
The Fitchburg downtown historic areas.
So there are
No more outside in the lobby.
so we gotta get.
Okay.
Okay. Johnny Appleseed has had, Chambers going to be, Cultural Alliance has it. City Hall lobby, you said they have some?
Not anymore, they're empty. I just checked.
Yeah, okay. So if someone could replenish that, that would be great. Don, do you know if the train station has a brochure rack?
I don't
Where do you
think it
think-
does.
Do you think it would be appropriate or not for that, or?
There's a place where it could be put, yes, but I have to ask permission.
There's that coffee shop there.
There's a coffee shop, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any racks per se, but if somebody has a rack there you can stuff them into, that'd be great.
All right, I'll check it out. I'm going there Friday, so I'll check it out on Friday.
Terrific, thank you. All right. Anybody thinks of any other locations? I think it's if you can kind of keep tabs on the spots where you have given some out and check it periodically or make a call to see if they need more. That would be great also. So maybe periodically we'll try to bring this up, and we put a lot of effort into this, and it would be great to make sure that they fly off the shelves. Fitchburg State also has a group of them, and for their incoming students and parents, hopefully saying what a great community this is. And maybe they could use it for their faculty recruiting also, et cetera, various types of things. All right. Any more discussion on the brochure? Okay. Item number 5 on the agenda, update on resource links to be posted on the Historical Commission's website. I believe I sent a copy of what these links are. I checked yesterday. These have not been posted yet, although I've sent them to the city clerk and to the technology department in City Hall. Hopefully this will be updated soon. These included, let me see if I have. Let's see. Just a review for this is great. Can you see a copy of the brochure on your screen?
Yes,
Okay, so this is what, hopefully adding to the bottom of our website, a heading of resources, the Fitchburg Downtown Historic Area brochure, and maybe a picture of the cover of it here and a link to click to get a PDF copy of the brochure. Celebrate Fitchburg Historic Preservation. This is the Fitchburg May Preservation Month 2024 program. This is a link to the video recording of that FATV provided for us. Guidelines for preserving, rehabilitating, and restoring historic buildings. National Park Service Preservation Briefs. This is a link to those resources. Consultants and firms who specialize in preservation-related fields. Preservation Massachusetts directory. There's a link to those resources. And access to the Massachusetts Historic Resources Inventory, what we call MACRIS. MACRIS maps, there's a link to that. And an example, Fitchburg's inventory includes over 900 properties, items, and areas. Survey example showing downtown Fitchburg. Yep. And there was an image in here. I think hopefully that image went in. Historic preservation listserv, network of sharing information on historic preservation Massachusetts. To subscribe to the listserv, email this link and they'll put you on the listserv. Hopefully all of our members on the commission are using or getting this listserv on your email. It's really, really informative. I know there's a lot of, just about every week there's something on questions on various communities, demolition delay ordinances, and many other items that other, particularly historic commission members throughout the state question and put information on. So Fitchburg Historical Society, a link to their website, Fitchburg Public Library, Fitchburg Community Development and Planning, their resources and lists of resources that they have to help people developing properties, etc. So hopefully this gets added to our website. Hopefully people are looking at our website occasionally. And just an attempt to, these are all something that I find very helpful, kind of day-to-day looking at information about historic resources, and hopefully the public would have better access to these, at least in this one way. And I don't know, other ways the Historical Commission can advertise these things, but at least having them on our website would be good, I think.
Keith, I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I had somebody interested that I think it's called Rosemont on Prospect Streets for sale. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
And I had a friend of mine was asking me, because I'm on the commission, he said if he purchased that property, would there be any restrictions because it's historical? And I don't know if it has a marker or if it's registered or anything like that. But I told him no. I said, but it could possibly be eligible for historic tax credits. Was there any resources in of those things that you mentioned on that list that I could refer him to that are on that?
I'm sure it's listed on MACRIS list.
But information about
and MACRIS lists if it's in a local historic district or if it's National Register or if it's just a surveyed building. So that is kind of one resource to at least get a semi-official understanding if in the if there's any particular listing on that. If you'd like, I could bring it up now, or if not,
Yeah, I mean, just out of curiosity, just
okay, let me,
if we have time and if people have to leave, then I could do it later, but
um, I'm just about there, so let me see if I can bring it up.
it's only 800 and some $1,000 from what I was told.
Yeah, I did from the aerial picture that I saw of it. It's thousands of square feet of building space. It looks like
Yeah,
a
I
kind
told
of
my friend, I said that it might be a good deal on the asking price of the house. I said, but I can't imagine what it costs to maintain and heat it.
yeah.
And I don't think it's zoned commercially, so I don't know what restrictions would be on there for renting out spaces. I think it has a carriage house too.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
fully done over to live in.
and that would be kind of the resources of being able to check with community development. I think community development would be able to review zoning and things with a potential buyer very quickly, and also talk about any procedures if there had to be any if it's in an overlay district or et cetera, and what the process would be for getting, if there were zoning restrictions, would there be any ways of getting variances? And I think
Did you say the property is called Rosemont? Is that right?
I don't know
yeah,
if they call it that anymore, but at one time it was a nun's convent years ago. I think the Crockers owned it originally.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. Um,
Yeah.
I believe it was a Crocker building, and then yeah, I believe that when it was a convent, it was referred to as Rosemont, but
That's a
don't
yeah.
quote me on that.
So here I just went into Macris Maps and put in Prospect Street, Fitchburg, and this has given me, this is Main Street kind of going up through here. Upper Common is here. The little black dot shows Prospect Street in general. And we can see all of these areas or surveyed areas. There's no little red markers in there, which means that it is National Register, but you can find this out kind of quickly in here. But Prospect Street runs up through here. Rosemont is,
Did you say the red dot means that it's National Register?
usually this red triangle means that it's National Register. Although I maybe that means local.
Did you have a street number for that?
I
Charles
don't know
or?
it off the top of my head. I could Google map it and see if it tells me.
Mhm.
No.
You know that property is?
How far up Prospect is it?
It's before Applewild,
Okay.
but it's close to Applewild though. So it's probably near View Street.
Okay, View Street is up here. Is it right before?
I'm
Yeah,
I'm looking at Google Maps right now, and it looks like. Wait a minute. No,
No, this is the wrong one here. Wait a minute.
Arlington. Wait, Rollstone. Boulder, Maine. Prospect Street. Arlington. Oh, wait, is it near Arlington? No. Prince Street. I can't tell.
Is it on the right side of the road as you?
Yeah, if you go up.
If you're going up Prospect Street, it's on the left, on the same side.
On the left, yeah, toward,
I think it's right before View Street, like maybe two properties towards Main Street. I think. It's hard to tell.
84 Prospect.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, 84.
Yeah,
Nice wall in front of it.
yeah, it's a nice wall. Stone wall, historic stone wall.
It seems like it's closer to Main Street than just 84.
It's
We don't necessarily-
beyond Arlington. Not as far as you.
Don, are you on Google Maps?
Yeah, I'm on Google Maps.
If you could do Street View,
Yeah, let's see, street view.
the house almost looks white in Google Maps because it was a sunny day, but it's pink.
It's pink. It's the pink house.
Okay.
It's 84 Prospect. So that's it.
Take a drive by.
It's if you do the overhead view, Andy, it's a pretty big piece of property for that area.
Wow.
Yeah,
And I think it's got a carriage house out back. That's been done over into a living space. You could look up the listing on Zillow, Don.
sure.
If you Google Zillow and then put the address in, that property will come up with photos.
Okay, can you see my screen share now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's listed as the Macris number is FIT, stands for Fitchburg .314. And if I using Macris, if I click on that, and I accept that this is just a on-screen piece, it lists it as being built in roughly 1917. The colonial revival style. It was a convent and single-family dwelling house. And it is also inventoried in Fitchburg Upper Common Inventory, which is a kind of a group inventory, and the Prospect Hill Inventory. So these are two other sources that we can find it. And to actually look at this particular 84 Prospect Street, we can click on here. And
Wow, it's 9 floors.
9 bedrooms, 10 baths.
I'm checking it out on Zillow right now, and it's amazing. The
Yeah, it
interior.
says 9 bedrooms, 10 baths, 8,000 square feet.
It's
There you
got an
go.
in-ground pool.
A 2.6 acre lot.
Pretty good for that street.
for a bargain price.
$869,900.
Gorgeous inside.
They call it a private country estate. I don't know about
I
that.
had
A budding
have a good
apple.
weekend.
Yeah, they're about that one.
Thanks
Yeah.
for your help this week. I like the little carriage house. I would like to live in that.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah, I don't know if it's my screen is showing on here. It's a scanned record cover page.
Oh, we did a
Yes.
historical record for them a while back. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it does not designations. It has no. It's not a local Fitchburg local historic district. We only have one. That's Monument Park, so it's not under the Historical Commission jurisdiction. So there's no restrictions that way. it's not, to my knowledge, not listed individually on the National Register of Historic Places. So there's no designation, and there are very few restrictions being listed on the National Register, except for being recognized.
That's a carriage house? That's the carriage house. Wow. Yeah, you could live in there.
So in kind of unofficial, I don't think there are any restrictions for anybody buying this. I personally would encourage somebody to obviously keep the historical character of the building and have, making any changes or additions to it that to maintain the value as a historic and older building, particularly in a pretty good historic area of other valuable historical houses, that it would be great to, maintain the historical character as much as possible for somebody buying it, just to keep the value of the building up. But there are no, to my knowledge, no restrictions to it. So this is kind of one way of finding out. And, this is one way of, for anybody interested in finding out these questions that buyers might have, are there any historic restrictions, is to perhaps contact the local historical commission. In that case, they'd be contacting us, and we could do some research and try to make a ruling on it. Also, community development has the same resources. Another obviously city agency that can do these same reviews also. And pardon me?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is there historic tax credits available for that? Or no, because it's not listed as a national register?
No, it's not listed. As with like what the owners of the B.F. Brown complex did, and what the Morin Square apartment development complex, the old Torbox furniture building, et cetera, they were able to receive or tax credit financing for usually larger scale projects because they were actually instrumental in doing the inventory work of actually recommending that buildings be listed on the National Register. And that's what B.F. Brown complex, of all of those buildings. They were not on the National Register, just inventoried like this particular building is, but they did the paperwork and nominated their particular structure or group of structures to be listed in the National Register listing as individual buildings. And once they become accepted as National Register buildings, then they are eligible for state and federal tax credit financing options. So whether if this is big enough to go through the effort and perhaps cost of getting it on the National Register. One other thing that the city of Fitchburg and through our historical commission is to look at areas, as was done in the past with Monument Park, and individual cities can create local historic districts, not National Register, but local historic districts through the authority granted by the city in adopting Commonwealth of Massachusetts ways of creating local historic districts, just like the Monument Park local historic district was created with the Monument Park in the center, and I believe about 10 other buildings surrounding the park, that the Fitchburg Historical Commission, acting as a local Local Historic District Commission has jurisdiction of design changes to the buildings, such as what we did with the library renovation project. So it's possible we could, or members of the community, such as in anywhere in Fitchburg, but like Prospect Hill or certain portions of Prospect Hill, could see the value in having a local historic district to kind of maintain the quality of the existing architecture in that area, and could petition the city to create a local historic district. And it would be an act of city council to create a local historic district that it could include one or more buildings in an area, such as Rosemont or other areas of a whole district of maybe like Prospect Street or like Atlantic Street Avenue, Cliff Street, those areas, or areas throughout the city, like the Upper Common or other areas that could become National Register designations. There is, besides the B.F. Brown properties that are in this process right now, they're in construction. National Register designation will not be granted until after their construction is complete, although they have applied for National Register. They hold that over the project so it's completed meeting the guidelines of the National Park Service in their preservation of the building or buildings. And then they grant it, and then the tax credits are eligible. In local historic districts, it's just coming before the Local Historic District Commission to get approval. This is not a local historic district in Fitchburg, although places like Prospect Street would certainly be conducive to that designation.
Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, a long-winded one. Sorry about that.
No, it was informative. I'm sure if anybody's listening, it's informative to them too.
Yeah, and it's kind of looking at kind of the alternatives. This is just one property of many on Prospect Street that have some strong architectural character, kind of representing the period that they were built. And individual buildings on Prospect Street or throughout the city, for an example, at large, are very important by their individualness and being able to just maintaining their value as a historic building, quite often meaning maintaining their monetary value, is kind of important. And members of a particular community could be interested in actually, besides just having one building, having a whole street or whole area of a community designated as a historic district, a local historic district, gives some guarantee to the collective ownership of those particular buildings in a historic district, to having a design review or collective assurance that the neighborhood or individual or collected buildings maintain their a certain historic value, and as a group they can reinforce the property values of that whole particular area more than just one particular building does. So that's just a side comment.
So Keith and Charles, two things. One is the Historical Commission's historic marker is on their building. on Rosemont.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's the Bartow Crocker House. The other thing is, we have talked in previous meetings about, doing something to get, Prospect Hill area, designated a, local historical district. And I think, maybe it's time to take the next step. And start planning logistics for doing so.
I think that would be great. I think it would be um, I think it would be particularly great if the actual property owners of that area brought that forward, or having, instead of trying to push something on somebody, is to have it being generated. And certainly you can't push it on somebody. It has to be, the people of the community need to be in most parts in favor of doing something like that. But there is a process for doing that. And there's called a local historic district study committee that could be appointed to study this particular option. And the local historic study group or commission would make a report and do a lot of canvassing of the community for local residents' support and involvement and understanding of what a local historic district is and how it works. So the study committee would make a recommendation, and this there's an official way of creating a local historic district study commission, and this commission would, after the findings, would file a report and present it to probably to us and to city council of a recommendation, pro or con. And if it is pro to create a local historic district, it would list various details and reasoning and the criteria that the study commission has reviewed. And then the city council would have a vote on it, whether a local historic district could be created as per the findings and recommendation of the local historic district study commission, I think it is.
Local Historic District Study
Committee, okay.
So does the mayor appoint that committee, or does the city council?
I don't know. I'd have to take a look at how that is. I'm sure a little bit of both, and if how the historical commission is involved with that. It's kind of a workings parallel to the historical commission, and in that the historical commission would more than likely be the providing the oversight for any new local historic district, and probably following similar guidelines to what we've established for the Monument Park local historic district. Or they could be separate guidelines, but similar types of processes of review, design review, exactly what are the means for continuing the historic value of the various properties that are included in a newly created local historic district. But that's something it would be good to study how to move forward or something like this, doing some basic research of interest of the various property owners in a particular area that could be considered, understanding, having educational sessions and meetings and discussion of the qualities of X number of buildings that would be in a local historic district, sharing the historical heritage of the individual buildings with the people involved or homeowners or property owners involved in that local or proposed local historic district, and getting feedback from them and support or questions from the individual homeowners. I think that's all pretty well spelled out. I believe Mass Historical Commission has some good documentations on you might be looking at up now, Don.
Yeah, I'm checking into it.
Yeah, it'd be something to certainly discuss with, various property owners, to holding informal then formal discussions about it.
It just so happened yesterday I was talking with someone who lives at the corner of Bond and View, and he brought it up himself about making the Prospect Hill Historic District.
Yeah, I think that would be quite interesting. I think that's certainly one of the strong concentrations of quality historic buildings in Fitchburg. I think the community at large pretty much recognizes that resource that's there, and as an option for helping to possibly maintain that particular character onward is a local historic district. Creation of a local historic district is certainly a possibility of doing that. Many, can't say all of the communities in Massachusetts, but a very large number of communities and municipalities in Massachusetts have local historic districts that have been created for just that reason. And you can kind of see the payoff that it provides for maintaining this cultural asset of a particular community, and probably reflecting in the, I would think, the value and perhaps the real estate value of individual properties in a local historic district. But it needs to be pretty much involved with all of the property owners in that proposed district, and a process of education of what the district is and isn't, and exactly how it operates, and getting backing of those residents before it's actually brought before City Council as a proposal. That's exactly how Monument Park Local Historic District was created in 1975. There was a local historic district study committee, like Don said. I believe Ellen DiGeronimo's husband Ralph was on that particular study committee. And there's pretty good guidelines of how it's done. So I think that's a good question. And is that something we wanted to continue discussing in our next meeting?
Yeah,
Okay. I think that Don, if I know you live in that area, um, maybe speaking like you did with that one resident you spoke to that was asking questions. I think getting more people like that. I believe when I was watching the planning board hearing about the Applewild expansion of their gymnasium facilities and other work they were doing on their campus on Prospect Street. There were one or more other property owners in the particular area that were really proud of their particular historic properties and for the value that they have as well kept pieces of heritage, if you will, like that. Finding other people like that to be involved in the study, and either as participants or as people being involved in the understanding of what it means. So creating proposed boundaries, what buildings would be included, if it's just one building, is it multiple structures, where does it stop and stand? And that's what the study committee reviews in detail and tries to make a presentation and create findings. Some of the valuable things that Don, if you're interested in sharing this with other people in that area, going back to that Macris maps, there are Macris listings of the whole area besides just the individual buildings. Maybe if I can go back to that. Let's see. So looking at this, let me get rid of the Bigelow Crocker house. And if we look at this whole area, we see different outlines of, I'm just going to click on this larger outline here. And there is a Prospect Hill in inventory. This is Fitchburg Q. And if I click on the Fitchburg C, is a smaller one. This is the upper common area that includes Prospect Hill and goes down. It's kind of a deeper one, but if we just look at the Prospect Hill one again and open up Q, and this is something you could share with oops. Are you seeing on your screen where it says Form A area?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So this is an inventory that was created. It's called Prospect Hill. This is the cover sheet for it. This was created in July of 2000 by Julie Ann Larry, who's an architectural historian that has done a lot of survey work, kind of most recently in the Fitchburg area. And it's a whole listing. This is Fitchburg Q, and it talks about the architectural description of the whole area in general and about a lot of the individual buildings as a grouping. And it could be looked at as a possible boundaries for either creating a National Register district or for creating a local historic district or both. But this is a multi-page document talking about the whole area and the historical narrative. So there's lots of research inventory work that's already been done. Listings of the buildings. This is obviously a multi-page document looking at many of the structures that were photographed, again, around 2000. And obviously, some rich architectural work, land work, etc. In this particular area. So a lot of survey work has been done. And in a lot of ways, a lot of the legwork of information, probably most of the residents in the Prospect Hill area have never seen this document. So being able to share information like this with property owners. So here, individual buildings have numbers and listings on them. They're outlined in darker outlines that have been included in this particular survey. That includes part of Mechanic Street also. I think. Yes, I believe it is, but taking some time and reviewing this document. So there's, I don't know, there must be 50 to 80 pages in this particular document, and well researched by a architectural historian as a document. So this is in MACRIS, and it's listed by Fitchburg Q, and it's kind of probably the most recent document of the Prospect Hill area, as an example. So it has no designations now. It's not a National Register. It's not a local historic district. It's just a survey form of an area of Fitchburg. Okay. So good question, Charles and Don. Using the resources of MACRIS, there's a lot of information available, and creation of local historic districts. How that's done is some discussion on its own. How are we doing time-wise? We're getting close to 5 o'clock. Go back to the agenda. Any other discussion on this? All right. figure out where we are. Okay. Update on resources link. I think that maybe came out of item number 5. Not sure. We had a lot of good discussion. Update on coordination of signage at Twin Cities Rail Trail. I think I sent copies of the latest version to everybody for the 3 signs they were helping provide input for. I know Andy and Charles helped a lot with some resources that we put in for some of the images. Anybody want to see those, or we can move on to the next item?
You can move on.
Okay. Moving on to historic marker update, number 7. No new applications that I'm aware of.
Oh,
They
speaking
can-
of markers, I don't know if I said it before, but we did a marker for Rosemont for
Yes.
1917, and I had completely forgotten about it. So I just looked on Zillow, and they have a picture of it on there, and that's what
Yes.
prompted my friend to ask me if there was anything
Yes.
restrictions because of that marker. So
Yes, and in this case, no. I mean, the marker by itself does not have any restrictions to it. It's just people that are wish to display information about their historic properties or older homes and properties. We like to verify that the facts are correct before it goes on to the sign, but there are no restrictions included with having a historic marker to your building. Number 8, project to document and share downtown building histories, historic districts, tax credits, and other restoration things. In last meeting, I believe I said I would like to help with that. And Andy, I haven't done anything to help with it. Now we can talk separately on this, and maybe when we have time, we'd get some more information going on that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any updates on that either, since we're working on some other items like the rail trail sign.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, I think those turned out or will turn out. That should be going out to bid, I believe, in August, or that was the last I heard of that. Maybe if the bids are accepted, getting into construction on that last phase of the rail trail sometime in the near future, next year or whenever. Number 9, update on Monument Park repairs. I have no update on that. We had talked about that probably in September we want to make a exerted effort to coordinate with Parks and Rec and Department of Public Works of creating holding some funds for budgeting for creating design documents and perhaps bidding documents for the repair various parts of Monument Park. So I no update on that personally, but we definitely want to start focusing on that in September. So I'd like to put that off until then, unless other comments.
no.
Update on historic building demolition delay. And Don, an update on that?
Yeah, I sent out a revised version because it occurred to me after being prompted at the last meeting, last non-meeting, that we really don't need the historical commission. We don't need it in the ordinance to state that the historical commission has the authority or power to do something if the decision of the public meeting is not followed. And that's the building commissioner. The building commissioner, that's already written into the ordinance of the laws of Fitchburg, of the city. So if we put in that the historical commission has that authority, as well as it's listed and or then we are in fact usurping the present status of the building commissioner, who, as I understand it, if for example, if someone does not have a approval to demolish a building, then the building commissioner can take action. The historical commission does not have any such authority. Now, if in the ordinance, the demolition delay, the decision of the building commissioner and the historical commission is not followed, the building commissioner already has the power and authority to implement fines and so forth. And that's something the historical commission, I don't think ever was granted in any other ordinance. And I think putting it into, as it has been, which is based on other historical commissions, demolition delay ordinances in other city, towns and communities, that that's a cause for well, first of all, we have trouble getting 7 members appointed. How are we going to implement some kind of fine for someone who doesn't follow the I mean, it just, I don't see any way we could do that. The building commissioner, that's their job. That's part of their job. So I eliminated that the historical commission and or building commissioner has the power and authority, whatever the wording is, to implement fines on someone who doesn't follow the decision, and just leave it at the building commissioner, who already has that power. It's already in the ordinance. So that, I think that clarifies an ambiguity that has been brought up several times before in different ways.
Sounds like a good update.
I concur. It sounds good.
Keith, I gotta step out. I might be back before you're done, but I have something else to do.
Okay.
You don't need me to vote on anything, right?
There is no voting except for our next meeting that's scheduled for, well, that's already scheduled, so we won't be changing that. We're looking at, sorry, just jumping ahead, perhaps changing the meeting time to 5 o'clock. We can wait to do that for September. So I don't know if we would have to do a vote on that if we wanted to change the meeting time, but
I think 3 actually works better for me than 5.
okay.
But whatever works for everybody else is fine with me.
Okay, so that'll be discussion we'll postpone for a while anyhow. So, all right. Thank you, Charles.
All right. Oh, so our next meeting is the usual, the last Thursday of the month, next month?
Yes, August 29th.
In August, and
3 p.m.
okay. All right, thanks.
All right. I with that, I think motion to adjourn, maybe Charles, while you were here, and we can continue on some discussion, but no voting after that. So motion to adjourn.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Charles,
second it.
yes.
Okay.
Don, yes.
Second,
Yes.
Andy, yes.
Yes,
yes,
And Keith, yes to motion to adjourn. That is conclusive. So I declare the meeting adjourned.